The most dangerous hiding places for brown recluses often look completely harmless. A stack of firewood, a storage bin, a shaded corner under the deck. These spiders prefer dry, dark spaces that stay undisturbed, especially when clutter creates tight shelter. In this video, we will walk through 10 common backyard and garage features that can invite brown recluses, why each one attracts them, and the exact fix. The first is something many homeowners keep pressed right against the house. A woodpile against the wall is not just storage, it creates rows of dry cracks, shaded gaps, and quiet pockets where brown recluses can hide while insects and other small prey move through the same spaces. The risk increases when the stack touches siding, a foundation wall, or the side of a garage. That contact point turns the pile into a bridge. A spider hiding in the wood does not have to cross open ground to reach a door frame, vent, crawl space gap, or small crack near the wall. The safer setup is simple. Move firewood several feet away from the house, raise it off the soil on a rack, and cover only the top so moisture does not get trapped along the sides. Rotate the stack often, and shake logs before carrying them indoors. The next feature is even more common, because people bring it into the garage without thinking. Cardboard is one of the worst storage choices in a recluse-prone garage because it creates hiding space inside the material itself. The seams, folded flaps, soft corners, and gaps between stacked boxes form dark, dry cavities that can sit undisturbed for months. The riskiest boxes are the ones nobody opens often. Seasonal decorations, old paperwork, spare shoes, hand tools, and childhood keepsakes can become quiet shelter, especially when the boxes are pushed against a wall or left directly on the concrete. The fix is to replace cardboard with sealed plastic bins. Use tight-fitting lids, label each bin clearly, and store them on shelves instead of the floor. That removes the folds and hidden seams, and it makes cleaning and inspection easier. Even if every box is gone, one overlooked part of the garage can still turn into a spider refuge. Garage corners become risky because they are rarely touched. Brown recluses are not looking for noise, traffic, or fresh storage. They benefit from still areas where dust gathers, insects wander in, and objects stay pressed against the wall. Look at the corner clutter most garages collect: old paint cans, sports gear, tool bags, work boots, folded tarps, and bins nobody remembers filling. Each item creates a shaded edge or pocket, especially when it sits directly on the concrete. The fix is a monthly garage corner reset. Put on gloves, pull items away from the wall, vacuum the edges and baseboards, and lift storage onto shelves or hooks when possible. Reducing floor contact removes the quiet lanes recluses use. Outside the garage, one decorative landscape feature can create hundreds of tiny hiding slots. Rock walls and stone borders can turn landscaping into a row of protected cracks. Stacked stones, retaining walls, and decorative edging hold shade, trap moisture, and create narrow gaps where insects can gather. Where insects settle, spiders have a reason to stay. The concern rises when those rocks touch the foundation or sit beside doors, vents, basement entries, or garage thresholds. A loose border right against the house gives recluses sheltered movement close to the places they may enter. Check these features with gloves and a flashlight. Look into gaps, clear out leaves and dead insects, pull vegetation off the stones, and remove loose rubble that has collected behind the border. If possible, leave a clean space between stacked rocks in the home. The next feature does not just create hiding places. It can cover the evidence that spiders are already there. Ivy can turn an exterior wall into a blind spot. Thick climbing growth holds shade, catches dead leaves, shelters insects, and leaves webbing tucked behind stems where you may never see it during a quick walk around. The bigger issue is contact with the house. Vines pressed against siding, window trim, crawl space vents, or foundation cracks can hide movement and make entry points harder to inspect. If a brown recluse is using that shaded edge, the plant cover gives it privacy right against the structure. Cut ivy back from the home and keep a clear inspection gap along the wall. Thin, dense patches, remove dead leaves caught inside the growth, and stop vines before they enter cracks, vents, or trim lines. Once ivy drops leaves, check the ground underneath, because that layer can become the next hiding place. Leaf litter along fences and foundations works like stacked insulation. The top layer dries out while the lower layers stay damp, dark, and packed with tiny insects. That creates steady prey activity in places people rarely disturb. The most overlooked strips are behind sheds, under shrubs, along fence lines, near air conditioning units, and in foundation beds pressed against the house. When leaves mix with sticks, seed pods, and grass clippings, the pile becomes a low-traffic shelter zone right beside walls, gaps, and utility openings. Rake these areas regularly, thin out deep debris, and move compost piles away from the house. Keep a clean perimeter strip where soil, mulch, or stone is visible, so hiding spots are easy to spot. The next feature looks tidy from a distance, but it can hide clutter underneath. A low deck or porch void creates exactly the kind of protected pocket brown recluses can use for months. It stays shaded, blocks wind and rain, and often collects dead leaves, blown-in trash, and insects underneath. The risk goes up when that space becomes storage. Stacked lumber, empty planters, sports gear, kids' toys, cardboard boxes, and unused outdoor items create tight gaps that are rarely moved. Those gaps can hide spiders, egg sacs, and the prey insects that keep them there. Clear everything out from under decks and porches, then remove debris down to bare soil, gravel, or clean ground cover. Make the space reachable for inspection, not sealed into a blind spot. If you add lattice or a barrier, choose one that still allows airflow and lets you monitor inside. Another backyard structure often becomes the ultimate no-disturbance zone. Sheds become a perfect recluse hideout when they turn into a storage closet for things nobody touches for months. Gloves, shoes, tarps, garden tools, bags of soil, cardboard, and folded drop cloths all create dry, dark pockets with very little disturbance. The dangerous moment is usually not seeing a spider. It is reaching blindly into a boot, grabbing a bundled tarp, or pulling on old work gloves after winter. Brown recluses avoid open spaces, so the places your hand disappears into first are exactly the places that need checking. Move loose items into sealed plastic bins, hang tools on the wall, and keep shelving raised off the floor. Shake out gloves and shoes before using them. Sweep corners regularly, and get rid of fabric or cardboard you no longer need. The next feature looks softer and more harmless, which is why people underestimate it. Outdoor cushions and covers can turn a clean patio into a stack of hiding pockets. Seat cushions have seams, zippers, and compressed gaps. Grill covers, tarps, patio umbrellas, and furniture covers create dark folds that stay dry even after rain. The risky moment comes when those items have been sitting outside, in a shed, or in a garage for weeks. Someone grabs a folded tarp, drops onto a cushion, or pulls a cover off the grill without checking the tucked fabric underneath. Store cushions and outdoor fabrics in sealed containers when they are not in use. Shake them out before sitting or carrying them. Hang covers open when they dry, and do not leave folded material on the ground. The final feature is harder to notice than clutter, because it is built into the home itself. The last feature is the one that turns a backyard problem into an indoor one. Gaps do not attract brown recluses by themselves, but they can give spiders a path from outdoor shelter into garages, crawl spaces, closets, and storage rooms. Check the places where the house meets the ground. Worn door sweeps, loose garage thresholds, utility pipe openings, crawlspace vents, cracked foundation edges, and gaps under siding can all become entry points. Even a small opening matters when it leads to a dark, undisturbed space. Seal cracks, replace damaged door sweeps, add weather stripping, repair vent screens, and close gaps around cables and pipes. Keep boxes, firewood, and stored items away from these entry points, so shelter does not sit right beside access. Now the prevention routine becomes simple. Remove hiding places, reduce moisture, and block the routes inside. Brown recluse prevention comes down to one rule: keep a clean, inspectable perimeter. Dark, dry, cluttered, rarely disturbed spaces are the pattern to break. Check your highest risk backyard feature today. Wear gloves, and never reach blindly. If activity continues or bites are suspected, call a pest professional. Thanks for watching, and comment which feature surprised you most.